You're listening to This Week in Property. Stay current, relevant and up to date in the world of property investment. Learn from the UK's leading property professionals and grow your property business.
Hello and welcome to This Week in Property. I'm your host Richard Swan, and today I sat down with two lovely ladies who are absolute powerhouses in the world of property. Carol Watson and Lisa Smith. Now, Carol has actually been on the show before, just on her own, which was a fantastic conversation we had. And this time she is here with her superhero partner. The two of them do so much together in the world of business, in the world of property, and excitingly, they have just released their own new podcast. So that's what we were chatting about. We got into what they're doing in the world of business, what they're doing specifically in the world of property. What is the podcast all about? Why have they decided to do it? What relevance is it to people out there? And most importantly, we digged into the fact that they're both ladies. And it's a sad fact in business, but specifically in property, that the ladies are very outnumbered when it comes to certainly visible parts of the business. You know, you pop along to networking events or meeting events, business events, and, you know, they're kind of few and far between. And it's a subject we touched upon, and we delved into the whys and the setbacks, the challenges, but more importantly, why it shouldn't be that way. Why more and more ladies should be stepping up for this and chasing these goals if it's something that they're interested in. If they've got an interest or a passion for property, that they can do it. And not only can they do it, but they can do it like Lisa and Carol do it. Really standing out from the crowd, really going for it, 10xing their results. And it was fantastic, and it was very inspiring and encouraging. And I think the listeners, just in general, you'll get a lot from it. But the women in particular should listen into this, because I think you're going to get some real encouragement from your sisters in the world of property. So, without any further ado, the fantastic Lisa Smith and Carol Watson. So, Lisa, Carol, hello and welcome to This Week in Property. How are you, ladies?
Hello, Richard. Good, thank you. Very well, thanks. Thanks for having us.
Pleasure. We have had some fun and giggles already, which I'll probably let the audience in on quite shortly. But it's great to have you ladies on, and we've got a lot to talk about. We've got property stuff to talk about. We want to chat about what you're doing in the world and what's going on and what kind of things you're finding and what your opinions are and that kind of stuff. But let's start with the boring stuff. You are on a podcast, which is This Week in Property. But you've also taken the brave and bold decision to launch your own podcast. Ooh, very posh. Now, Lisa, explain yourself. Why are you joining this mad world of podcasting?
Podcasting, yes. Well, it's not a decision that we took lightly, I'll tell you that. So, myself and Carol, so we've been talking business and doing bits and pieces since the end of last year. And around about April time, we started talking seriously about a podcast. And then those that follow us on LinkedIn will have seen a video of us in the woods with our dogs. And we said, right, if we put it out there, we put it on video, and we say we're going to do a podcast, then we actually have to make it happen. There's no backing out.
Brilliant. So you held yourselves accountable on social media. Right. Now, the question that most people would ask is, okay, I understand you got to that point to agree to it, but why? Why, Carol? What's underneath that need, that desire?
Well, I think both of us do share a lot on LinkedIn as it is, and we've had some good feedback about our content. I think that there is a lack of maybe women in particular who are willing to step out there and share their thoughts on business in general, and maybe even more so property. I don't know about you, but the majority of events that I go to, I am property related events. I feel like we're definitely the minority.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. And we wanted to kind of grab that and have a platform to be able to talk about it. And tell you what, Richard, we have been through it all. We've been through the ringer, you know, we've had so many experiences in property already and in business already. We thought, you know what, we're going to share this with everyone.
And I think we speak a lot as it is. Lisa is actually the first person I speak to every morning, whether my husband's at home or not, because we have our 5:30 power up call, and we speak about what we're doing in business in general and also property, and just having someone else to bounce ideas off of has been so good. Also hearing what Lisa's doing and learning from what she's doing helps me, so if we can do that for other people, it'd be amazing.
That's it. Yeah, that is a fantastic thread to pull on there. Yeah, totally. Because you can serve. Because I suppose one of the voices you probably must have had in your heads is, "What do you think you're doing? Why? Whoa! Why should you have a podcast? Why should you have a voice?" But the exact opposite to that, to shut that voice up, is, well, why not? And
exactly.
these ladies are doing this. These are just powerhouses in the world of property. Some of the stuff you girls have been doing is just incredible. And people can be helped by that. You can actually help people. Share your stories, share your challenges, share your wins, share your opinions, your ideas, experiences, the full thing. So the actual opposite answer of why not is more important, isn't it? But Lisa, did you have those voices? Did they pop into your head?
Always, every day, Richard, every day. And this is why our podcast, a specific section of it, does focus on mindset, because every day we're battling that inner voice, you know, saying, you know, bits and pieces and, you know, sort of trying to drag you down. And you have to focus, you have to study daily and cultivate those good thoughts, because if you don't, then you'll just take yourself out of the game. And I think that's probably why we sort of gravitated towards each other, because we have the same values, you know, we have the same way of looking at work, and we're motivated in the same sense that, you know, it's easy to work together. And I think that's how we've got to this level in our business so quickly. It's because, you know, we've both worked together on this. And I think when people listen to the podcast, you'll understand the way that we think about things and the way that we talk about it.
Excellent. Now, Carol, do you think that's important? Just picking up on that, because funnily enough, I'm reading a book just now, Principles by Ray Dalio, and he goes into I think there's 5 main ones, his principles in life. And he speaks about that. He speaks about values. He speaks about actually having a specific view of the world, the way you kind of think you should behave, the way you should try and get success, the way you should work with other people, the way that your particular mindset is, the values, your morals, your etiquette, whatever you want to call it, you know. And it sounds as if the two of yous overlap in a lot of those areas. Do you think that is really important for a kind of strong partnership, business partnership, whatever?
Yeah, definitely. I think you need to find people who share your value or values in order to have that successful relationship. I think that's so important. I was actually speaking to a business coach, the business doctor is his name, and he was saying that he's like talking about recruitment, and he's saying it doesn't matter who you recruit, as long as they share your values, then you can teach them whatever you need to teach them. But if they don't share your values, then there's going to be issues that come along the way that you're not going to be able to solve, because it's ingrained in them. And their personalities.
That's interesting. Yeah, because the rest of it's just skills, information, processes. These, you know, you can learn them. You can teach anyone that. Yeah, but your actual view of the world and how you think you should act, behave, whatever, is something, as you say, it's ingrained. It's been built up for so long. But could we? God, we're getting existential and spiritual here, Carol. Could we change those anyway? Do you think, given enough time, given enough work, that you could correct your view of the world, your values, etc.? Or is that something that's just in you and that's it?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know, because we talk about working on mindset, and I think that's where your values come from, so potentially.
But I think you have to have an open mind to be able to change. You know, if you're as stubborn as it can be on your set, you know, core values, then I don't think anything would penetrate that, and you wouldn't be able to change that.
No. No.
That's a very
I
good
think
point.
the thing that's coming to my mind right now for some weird reason is you hear about like these people who end up in like jail or prison or whatever you call it, and they so obviously being a bad person to get there in the first place, but because they're in such a desperate state, then that forces them to change. Obviously it would be good if people didn't have to get to that stage to want to change, but they come out totally different people occasionally.
Yeah, like hitting rock bottom and
that forced their change. That forced them to be open-minded. There you go. Oh God, we get very deep very quickly here. My goodness, is this what your podcast is going to be like? You're going to just go everywhere, off in tangents,
and a little bit of singing, a little bit of jokes.
Oh my goodness, karaoke podcast.
That has been good, really insightful, but also very funny. So
excellent. Now I want to dig into what's been happening already, but let's cut to the chase. What's it called? Where do we find it? All that kind of good stuff.
It's the Life Balance Podcast, and we've got. Sorry.
Yep, just repeating that for the listeners. The Life Balance Podcast. Love it. Love it.
If you go to lifebalancepodcast.com, all the links are on there. So we've got it out on iTunes and what's the Android one? I can't remember. I'm a Apple person.
So basically it's hosted on our host website, so all the links are actually on that lifebalance.com page. So if you're on Android, you just click the link to get to the podcast website. And
gotcha.
Also, we've got a YouTube channel, so we're actually filming the podcasts, putting the sound out as a podcast, but having a video as well. So if you want to see our beautiful faces, go to our YouTube channel, which we'll share.
Fantastic. There you go. So how much wardrobe and preparation time is it for each of those shows then? Come on, cut to the chase.
We're actually really low maintenance, Richard. You probably wouldn't think that. Yeah. We're pretty fine, but our setup is funny.
Yeah.
You know, we usually do them in my house. I've got this, well, my husband calls it the alien. You're currently on it just now. And it's got like one of those arms that come out, and it's got the light, and you know, you've got your holder for your phone and everything like that. So and every time we do it, the light randomly turns off, and you know, the postman comes to the door and we have to stop. So it's a wee bit of editing, but it's fine. And Carol's laughing because she doesn't do the editing, it's me.
Right, okay, so we've got our rules, right, okay. But I mean, yes, it sounds as if you're having a lot of fun with it. We've had a bit of fun before this. Laptops and microphones and roving camera position.
All of us, yeah.
Is that just your life in general, ladies, is it?
Yeah, very much. Don't sweat the small stuff, Richard.
No, it's okay to get there in the end.
Correct. Just laugh it off. Move along. Brilliant. So if someone stopped you in the street, Lisa, and they said, okay, so I heard you talking there, life balance, but what's it about? That simple question. How would you answer that?
Yeah, so it's pretty easy to answer. So the Life Balance Podcast covers all things business, mindset, life balance, and a little bit of property sprinkled in there as well, because obviously this is where our main focus is in business. Yeah,
that's your world, your business world. So, okay. And Carol, style-wise, what should a listener expect? Oh, well, it's quite short. Oh, no, it's kind of 3-hour-long Joe Rogan ones. Well, it's kind of funny. Well, we do this thing at the start. Is there a theme? Is there a setup to it you've got in mind at the moment?
They tend to be between like 20, 30 minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe slightly over 30. I don't know if we've got 35 max so far, I think.
Right.
And we try and pick a topic from one of those areas that Lisa mentioned. So be that like mindset, business, juggling everything, or property. And we have that as our focus for that particular episode. And basically we just sit on Lisa's couch, drink some green tea with a bit of ginger in it, and have a chat about the topic.
Just have a chat. Brilliant. So there's no preamble to it, or there's kind of bullet points that you want to cover? How much kind of preparation, how much really is you being off the cuff and just going with your thoughts? How does the balance work?
Well, we do have we obviously have got like the title in mind, and then we take it in turns to try and write out some bullet points and then add some notes as we go. And then we usually start speaking about it before we hit record. And then I'm like, no, stop it. This is a podcast. Because we get into a really good conversation. We're like, no, we need to try and recreate this. So we just go with the flow, don't we? Yeah.
Fantastic. And you've got a couple of shows already released, Carol, so people can jump into it, which is brilliant. How have they went? How have you found it actually creating them and having those chats? Was it what you expected? Was it different in any way?
So the honest answer is we actually recorded these episodes that we launched previously, but they were much shorter. And through some advice that we received from Mr. Billy Farrell, we were told that we needed to make them longer. So we had a good basis of what we were going on for the ones that we've launched so far. But I think it was quite natural and easy. I think it's so, as we both, I think we've said already, both of us do quite a bit on LinkedIn. We do videos on LinkedIn. And it's just kind of making a bigger one of them, but with Lisa. So it's all good.
Sipping tea and having a laugh. But it's nice because I spoke about, that sort of chemistry that we have and, that we have these values and things like that. When we start talking about something, we're like, oh, wait a minute, and we'll come in, and I think that's why people, find it quite funny and things like that, because we do sometimes go off in a little bit of a tangent just when we're telling our stories and our experiences and things like that. But it's amazing how many stories that we talk about that we both have had a similar experience, but from a slightly different angle. So I think that can really relate to listeners and viewers on our YouTube channel, because
they'll have their experience.
Exactly. They'll be completely understanding where we're coming from.
Right, gotcha. And Lisa, when it comes to the kind of practicalities, the tech, the process, the ins and outs, if someone is listening in just now and thinking, my own podcast, I wonder if I should, and my own particular viewpoint and stuff like that, what would you say to them? What would you warn them from? What would you wish you had learned if you could go back to day one? What pops into your head?
I've got loads on this, right? So number one, right? Do not rely on iTunes timescales, okay? Everything always takes longer than you think. And iTunes will say, oh yeah, it will be published in 24 hours. No, don't leave it to chance. Make sure you're at least a couple of weeks advance in terms of when you want to launch your podcast, because I don't know, I think they just throw something up in the air and say, we're not going to publish your podcast this week because of X, Y, and Z. So you just have to give yourself plenty of time when you're doing it.
Right.
We've used a good few channels to host the podcast. So we use one called Libsyn. I think it was maybe you that actually recommended that to us, Richard.
Yeah, I remember us talking about it. One of the platinum get-togethers.
That is so easy to work. You could get into the whole, how to set up an RSS feed and all that sort of stuff. But use a host site like that will make things simple for you.
Right.
And then obviously everyone talks about the whole image on iTunes. Oh my goodness. Yeah, leave a lot of time for that. Use something like, what did I use? Photoshop. Use Photoshop to edit the image and things like that. It will just be so much easier for you. I have a little bit of a background in video editing. In previous roles that I've had. So I use a tool called, I'm going to say it's Wondershare. I'm just looking it up just now. Yeah, Wondershare.
Okay.
And Wondershare Filmora, and that's a great little tool. And a lot of things are already set up for you. So you don't have to look and see, is this the right song I should be using? Do I have the rights for that? All that sort of stuff is already done for you. So, just leave a lot of time, though, to do it all.
The panic and the stress, the joy. It's just like business. It's just like life. It's like a life balance.
Life balance. You don't sweat the small stuff. That's what I was saying to Carol. I was messaging her.
We lost you for a wee bit there, girls, but you've came back in. Just talking about technology and we lose a connection. There you go. Typical. So, Cara, the shows you've already popped out there, whet the appetites. You know, the listeners are listening in. They'll go to the show notes. They'll jump over your websites and stuff, and they'll hook in. But to kind of tease them into doing that, what kind of subjects have we ticked off already?
Well, the first thing that we decided to speak about, and what we've titled it, is advice we would give ourselves on the first day of starting our business.
Right.
So that was a fun one to do.
Yeah.
Okay. I bet you that had the minds going. Yeah. If you could jump in a time machine and go back to day one of your business, wow.
Yeah. And I think at the start of the podcast we speak about how it's the advice that we would give ourselves and not like the advice I would give Lisa if she was starting a business or whatever it is, because you're a lot more brutal with yourself, I think, than you would be with anyone else.
Okay.
And I think it gave us a bit more of an honest conversation.
Interesting. Okay. And did you come up with quite a few things? Were you surprised at how many lessons you've learned almost in the business world?
I would say that one we probably could have done for a good few hours.
Yeah, that was fun.
But, and with that, so normally at the start of each podcast I'll like introduce it, or Lisa will, and say like this is what we're going to cover. But because we had so many different things, we didn't know exactly which rabbit hole we would go down. We kind of left that out of that one. Yeah, but the rest of them kind of followed the standard pattern after that. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Now.
Yeah, we've covered.
What else you got? What would you summarise? Don't tell them everything. Don't tell them everything. Okay. We just want to tease them.
Yeah. One of my favourite one that we've done so far is the big why, talking about why we're doing things personally, and then also talking about the broader why, which I like. It's mindset, goals, it's way up my street.
And I think you learn, like, even when we do these podcasts, like, we learn a little bit more, like, about ourselves.
Yeah, totally.
Because we're going quite deep and, you know, we're talking about things and we're setting it out in a way that a listener could perhaps take these learnings and apply it to their own business or their own, you know, life and learnings and things like that. Like, we do learn things ourselves, which is quite good as well.
That's interesting, yeah. And do you actually feel that during the chat? You know, maybe Carol will say something back to you and then you immediately respond, you're like, oh, actually. And then there's are you getting those wee light bulb moments almost?
Definitely, that's it, yeah. We've got Evernote open and we take little notes and things because then obviously that fuels, you know, our other things like our future content, LinkedIn posts, all that sort of stuff.
Of course, yes. And you two, I mean, you've mentioned it before, LinkedIn, you two are very prolific in the social media world and getting your message out there. So again, for the listeners tuning in, for the business owners tuning in, for the particular subgroup of the ladies tuning in, is it something, Lisa, that you recommend? Is it a must do in today's modern world, do you think, with the business?
Absolutely. I mean, the leads and the conversations that we're having, it just solely coming from LinkedIn and from the content that we're putting out there. Exactly. It's a huge
what kind of percentage was that, Carol? 90%. There you are. Right. Wow, that's a big chunk.
And now we're finding that because we've put so much content online and we're speaking to the right people and we're in front of the right businesses and things on LinkedIn, when we go to the face-to-face networking events, people notice you and they recognise you and you're like, I like that video that you put out, and you're like, oh, really? And you are kind of taken aback because you just, you know, kind of sit in your own little world and, you know, you're doing your own posts and, you know, you're a content producer. I don't necessarily, like, read a lot on LinkedIn, you know. Obviously it's apart from Carol's post, apart from the podcast.
Apart from Carol's post, of course.
There's a lot of content, and obviously we're connected to a diverse bunch of people. But yeah, it's interesting when people come up to you and sort of start talking about your content, and you're like, oh, okay.
Now, Carol, how you tell me honestly, how is Lisa coping with celebrity status? Is she signing a lot of autographs? Has she got, you know, she taking some photo printouts with her to these networking events?
Yeah, I think so. No, she's hiding in the corner because she's an introvert.
I think we spoke about doing I wanted to do a podcast on this about being able to accept a compliment. So I've had people like at networking events be like, oh, I've seen your content, it's really good. And or like, oh, I've seen your videos on LinkedIn, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, you must be sick of the sight of me. Why can't I just say, oh, thanks for looking at it, or something like that? It's like, there's a bit in you where you just want to dismiss the compliment.
Yes. That is a fascinating topic, because I mean, I don't know if that is that a Scottish thing, a British thing, a Western thing. There is this, you know, the self-deprecation. That, oh no, I'm sorry about that. You know, putting ourselves down almost. You know what I mean? And we say we're not putting ourselves down. We say it's no. I'm just having a bit of fun. No, it's just a bit of humour. The ball busting is the quote, you know, a comedian would talk about doing. But yeah, there is something there about that, isn't there? About why can't you just take the compliment on and move on to the next point? So you've not recorded that show yet? No, this is just one of the future ideas.
Yes,
it's in the pipeline.
I said, oh God, they said it in stereo there. You've been practicing that. It's in the pipeline.
See what I mean? We're just on the same level.
Oh my goodness, finishing each other's sentences, talking in stereo. Yeah, the two yous are brilliant. It's actually, I've got to admit, it's great having the two yous in the same room together. When it comes to, like, you know, the platinum get-togethers that we do with PMW, there is an energy about you two. There's a kind of bubbliness and a bit of fun, a bit of mischievousness as well, actually, if I'm totally honest. I think you know that.
I think you split us up on the last day of the last platinum event, didn't you?
Brilliant. So let's talk property then. Let's talk business and stuff. Lisa, we have had the lovely Carol on the show not that long ago. For yourself, let's talk to the listeners. What's your kind of take on things in property? What are you up to? What strategies are you focusing on? What areas of the country are you in? How would you talk to someone that's listening in about what you're doing in the property world?
Yeah, so we're focused on mainly sourcing properties in the sort of FK10 postcodes. So we're talking Falkirk, Clackmannanshire, just outside the Stirling areas, Kincardine areas. And that's where we focus on our properties. Now, there's a funny thing going on in Falkirk just now. And we're in a bit of a bubble. Everyone talks about this bubble, and it definitely applies to that area. Right. There are properties in Falkirk that are going for at least sort of 20 grand over the home report value just now. And we're sort of sitting in this bubble, and, you know, we're having a lot of properties go to closing dates and things that are on the market. So it's interesting, you know, and I think at the start of the year in our areas, it was a little bit slow, you know, in terms of properties and who's selling things, and everyone was just kind of sitting there. But it's picked up. Obviously the summer brings, you know, a pick up in the market anyway, and movement and things, but there's definitely bits and pieces that are going on as well. So we mainly focus on refurbs. We're working with our private investors, we're sourcing property, and then we're adding value and selling for a profit. So that is usually what we're focusing on. But we've got a nice little sideline just now, an exciting sideline. I say sideline, it's actually huge, but it's sourcing land and land development. So that's a great part for us as well. So we've been working with a few developers. We just had a contract signed last week. Which is very exciting. So yeah, we're having a look at this, and we're sort of looking at different pieces of land now, and we're seeing where it goes, and it's nice, you know. Like, I had a conversation last week with someone who is 20 years in land and sort of sourcing land and being the sort of middle person between people. And there were things I was talking about, and he was like, how do you know that? And I was like, well, listen to our podcast and find out more.
There is a land show, but it's in the pipeline.
Exactly. Come and work with me, I'll show you.
But we spoke about, Lisa was telling me about this conversation, and I think the difference between Lisa and this person, this guy doesn't know because he doesn't take the action, he doesn't put in the effort that you do.
Right.
That's what it is.
That's a big difference, and that goes back to the very thing you started with, Carol, mindset.
Yes.
Just
And
that
work
type of
ethic, actually.
Yeah, like, yeah.
And Lisa's got the mindset of having a good work ethic, isn't she? She's got that mindset of taking action. She's got, and the results come. Yeah, it's weird how it affects everything. Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm a bit of a stickler for detail, and this is what I have to, we've spoken about this on one of the podcasts, I have to try and learn to let go of a lot of the things that I don't need to understand.
Sure.
It's sort of conducting the orchestra, I totally get it, but I mean, I'll ask, but why? But why does that work like that? And
she's like the toddler.
Yeah.
My daughter's
literally, Carol has 2 toddlers and her daughter and me, literally. And I ask things and I'm just like, but it works on the other level. So if like people ask me details about things and I'm like, well, that's just a BS. I'm not telling you why. It's just it's getting done and that's why. So
you go from the toddler to the parent.
Yeah, exactly.
Because.
But then I think there's definitely a good aspect, like a level of detail, especially in property and land development. You have to have that, because if you don't go into that depth, then you're not doing your due diligence correctly.
Of course.
And so, you're letting everyone down. You'd let down a seller, a buyer, an investor, a developer, and you need to cover your back and understand what's going on.
Definitely. There's one thing Paul shared with us that stuck in my head from the land event, and that was, so in normal property, when you're sourcing a property, you're looking for reasons to do the deal, but then when you're talking about land, you're looking for reasons not to do the deal.
Right, that different shift. Yeah. I mean, on the land in general, as you've said, obviously with PMW, you've got the next land event coming up soon, 5th, 6th and 7th of October. We'll see you again. It'll be brilliant. But if someone's listening in and, they're doing a couple of refurbs, say, for example, Carol, or they've got a wee portfolio ticking along quite nicely, what would you say to them about land, about new build developments, about this kind of thing? Should they be scared of it? Should they treat it cautiously? Is it a certain short-term, long-term? I mean, how would you describe it to them from your experience?
Well, I think, so when I left Protégé, I walked away thinking, wow, there's so much potential in property, like earning potential, but then land is just next level. It's insane, but you have to be okay with playing the long game. It doesn't happen overnight, and it is a bit more work, and you have to have patience, which some people struggle with. But yeah, it's an amazing opportunity, and I love seeing, I think we spoke about this when I was on This Week in Property before, I love seeing a property being transformed through a refurb. But to have something that didn't exist at all and to see that, that's just mental.
Yes. There's something very creative about that, isn't it? Isn't there? There really is. In fact, Paul, you mentioned Paul McFadden there from PMW, he had me out not that long ago in the middle of I better not describe exactly where it is in case someone tries to cut in, but in the middle of a field that was connected, and there was a river running through it, and then there was a woodland, and I'm walking about and I'm doing what he's asking me to do, site visits, videos, photographs and stuff, but then I'm matching it with what I've got in front of me as a bit of paper that he sent through from the architect, and I'm like, wait a minute, wow, this could become this. This is weird. A whole area of dozens and dozens of houses, a big kind of unit in the middle. I won't say any more than that. And there's a buzz, there's a real buzz of being in the middle of just, it's like a blank slate, isn't it, almost?
Yeah.
Totally different world.
You're sort of creating something that's going to be a legacy,
That's a very powerful statement. That's true, that's right, because each individual block on that bit of paper, that's going to be someone's life. That's like a family inside a home for God knows how long, God knows how many generations. It really is a legacy. You've touched upon something big there, yeah. Is that something you realise then, Lisa, when you're involved in these land deals, negotiations, etc.? Have you got that in the back of your mind, how big it is?
Yeah, definitely. And I think we spoke about this another plug to the podcast, but the big why is,
the big why.
We want to leave something that's much bigger than what we're thinking about just now.
Yeah.
And so I
I was speaking at a networking event a couple of Thursdays ago, and I had a bit of an epiphany halfway through my speech, and I decided to share.
Oh, brilliant.
I was. So I've just joined a local housing authority board, and I am helping a lady sell portfolio, which is all rented out to a different local housing authority. So I've kind of been sucked into this affordable housing kind of world. And so I was talking about my bigger why and wanting to help people to have somewhere safe to call their own. And I had this flashback. So my family all stay in Peterhead past Aberdeen. We used to go up and visit them and drive back down, and me and my little brother would fall asleep in the car on the way back. And Mum used to have stones in her driveway, and I would wake up when I heard the tyres crunching on the stones. And it was just that amazing feeling of that's us home, that's us, we're going to be in these four walls that we know is safe. And it's just it absolutely breaks my heart to think that there's people now in 2018 don't have that. They don't have a safe home. And that's something that I think is on my life to try and make a difference in.
And like you said, Richard, like you're a part of, you're helping people create memories. Because your home is somewhere, you know, where like your baby will take its first steps, or you know, you'll maybe get engaged. I don't know, like there'll be massive milestones in your life that will happen in and around your home. So if you can build something and enhance that for someone, then my God, like you're doing something that you don't even understand yet, and you can't even grasp the enormity of it.
Very true. And very deep again. My goodness, here we are again. What is this like? It's so easy just to chat to you girls. You just head off. Absolutely brilliant. And I hope these listeners are now nodding their heads in agreement to me. See, this is what I was talking about, listeners. This is the kind of power players we're talking about here. These girls have got umpteen projects underway with refurbs and investors and giving people returns on their money. They're doing land deals. They're on boards for housing associations. They're speaking at networking events. They're launching podcasts. It's ridiculous. When are you going to calm down? When are you going to take a break? When are you going to retire, Lisa? What's the future?
Never.
Never.
No, we can't even. No, I don't think that's even in our minds just yet. You know, we're only just getting started. So watch this.
I'm pretty sure we have spoke about this in a podcast, that for me, my husband's like, Carol, you work all the time, and I don't feel like I do because it doesn't feel like work.
Yes, that's a very powerful thing. Yeah, totally. Because I can't remember who, again, too many podcasts and audiobooks. Ray Dalio might have been the guy who spoke about that. Said, someone has the phrase of, if your vacation is the thing you have to go to get away from something, then you really should be working on the stuff that you're trying to get away from. You know, because if the thing you're doing the most of the time, if you want to call it work, want to call it a career, want to call it a business, put whatever label you want on it. If it's something that you have to run away from and escape from, there's something wrong there. We do have to switch off. We do have to recharge. We do have to balance, you know, as the podcast tells you. But if it's that bad, if that, you know, you're stuck in some cubicle somewhere, or you're really struggling and mentally you're just not enjoying your life, then you should really review that, I suppose, shouldn't you? I mean, for yourself, Lisa, what has been your background before this? What was Lisa's story before the world of property, for example?
I was that person in that.
You were? Were you? Right, okay.
Yeah, so I've got a background, always been in financial services, always the last 4 years I was in investment banking, and I was that person, commuting a few hours a day, putting up with trains, and it's a weird thing, like see when you're a commuter, right, and you're on the train, people don't speak, and it's the weirdest thing ever, but I don't know if it happens in any other country, but definitely in Scotland it's just so strange.
London's the same.
Yeah, and I think I used to do a lot of my studying and things on the commuting to work, and I just, you know, I was living for the weekend, and not that I didn't enjoy my job, like I really, really did. It was more that, like you looked forward to your holidays, and I definitely understood that if you're working on something that's taking up a real majority of your life, then you should work on something that you completely love.
Yeah.
Whereas the flip side now is that when I do take a little break to recharge, I feel guilty because I'm not working on my business all the time. And it's, it's not that, I'm taking a month off to travel to Thailand or anything like that. It's that, I'll take a day with my husband and my dogs and go and do something like climb Monroe or something like that. And I'd be like, oh no, like, I'm always thinking of different things to do. Like even in that scenario, I'll take my my selfie stick with my phone and make a video for LinkedIn, and we'll talk about like business and things, So I think now it's a completely different shift in mindset, and it's definitely for the better. Well, Gary.
What was that, Carol?
Is that our husband, Gary? I was asking if that drives him mental.
Oh, right, okay, yep. Come on, Lisa, what's the truth?
Well, he's always been a business owner, though, so
there you go.
He gets it.
Sure.
And I think what's nice is that there's another level to our relationship now that I never even knew existed. I mean, we've been together 14 years, and I thought I knew everything about him, but now when we talk about business and things like that, there's another level, and don't tell him I said this, but I have he doesn't listen. I have another level of respect for him in his business because, day to day, things go wrong in your business, but he has never brought that home. Whereas I'm like, oh my God, what's happening?
Wait till I tell you.
He's like, well, you just need to get on with it, and that's a great level of our relationship that we've got now. So.
Fantastic. That is brilliant stuff. And Cara, let's go back to it. The two females, the two powerhouses, these amazing ladies doing this, that and the other, getting on in business, having all the success, launching podcasts, the girls that are listening in. Well, let's appeal to them. Come on. What can we say to inspire them? To bring them into this world, to really encourage them that, there should be more of us. You should have your hands up and get mucked in and, join in and become more and more of these faces at these networking events, for example, that you were talking about, What would you say to your sisters?
Well, I think you should tell them about what happened.
Oh, there's a story.
You're in uni. All right, okay.
There's a story. Here we go.
This isn't an inspiration. I don't know what it is.
Helps. Excellent, go for it.
So, you know bits of the story already, Richard, but for the listeners, so I gone back to uni as a mature student. I only graduated last December, which was 6 months later than the rest of my cohort, because halfway through, my husband and I thought it would be a great idea to have our little girl. And so I had her, and I went back to uni for my second semester, fourth year, when she was 3 months old, sat in a women in leadership lecture, and we're talking about how as a woman you have to break through this glass ceiling. You're going to naturally, we have the baby, so you're going to have a career break, so therefore you're going to be slightly behind the males, and you're just going to have to push yourself a lot harder. And so I was sat, I'd gone back to uni to get a job in oil and gas, was plan, eventually invest in property, and we went at home thinking, why am I here? Why am I trying to put myself into this corporate world where I'm going to have to be away from my wee one at least Monday to Friday 9 till 5, and let's face it, from where we stay, probably at least an hour's commute either side. So she'd be not even up when I left and going to her bed by the time I came home, and then we'd be living for the weekend, like we spoke about already. And I was like, I don't want to do it. I can't do it. And my lecturer was saying how there's another route. There's a lot of females who go out and do it for themselves, as a way to give them the balance that they need. And I thought, well, that's it. I'm going to go do it myself, miss out the middle bit of the plan of the oil and gas job, and just go straight into property.
Yeah, a whole life-changing moment right there for you.
Yeah, and I think that just shows like that you know, women, obviously, like, you know, it's, like Carol says, it's only women that can have the babies. Like, we know this. So, you know,
no matter how much protesting we do, there's nothing about that.
No, that's true.
And I think, like, women face so many obstacles. Like, we were just speaking about this morning. Like, there's a lot, you know, especially in the industry that we're in. Obviously, we're a minority. We are in property, and you know, women have to take career breaks and things like that to progress in their life and to have a more abundant life. Well, why can't you have it all?
Yeah.
Why can't you be this person that goes out and says, well, you know what, I'm going to do a podcast because who are you to tell me not to? And like, I'm going to work on myself, my dedication to that, and there always has to be a sacrifice to every success that you have. My sacrifice to that is I'm going to study every day, so I've got good content so that I understand what I'm going to talk about to these people, and that's going to be your sacrifice. I mean, like Carol was saying, we get up very early in the morning because Carol has to see to her daughter at that time in the morning, you know, and
actually, I have to wake up at 8 o'clock this morning, so I've got lots of study time.
And like, we do that because we have to fit in these things in our lives, and that's because we want great success. And why shouldn't we be the ones to say, yes, like, we're going for it, we're going to the top, and if you want to come along for the ride, great. And if there is any females out there that are listening that think, I don't know where to start, well then drop us a message, and you know, be happy to have a chat, happy to meet up with you at a networking event and talk about where you want to go and things, because you have to be dedicated, you have to have your study in, and you have to surround yourself with people that are further along in the journey that you are, and that can offer honest advice, and can give you tips and tricks learned from someone that's actually done it. You can do all the studying that you do in the world, but until you actually do things, and until you're actually in amongst the work and having your own learnings, then you'll never know. Like, my husband laughs because he'll tell me things and I don't listen to him, but then Carol will tell me something, but because she has done it, and like she like has maybe done something with a property that I'm, you know, looking at something and I'm like, oh, have you ever done this before? And she's like, yes, this is how I did it. And I'm like, oh, I understand that. And then I'll go back to Gary and say, like, I'm going to do this, and he's like, I told you that. I told you that already. But you know, like, you don't, it's as if you don't, like, I don't know, like, it's, you just don't listen to the people closest to you, you know what I mean? So
we were speaking about this yesterday, about having a board for your life. So obviously a big company, you need a board for, we're talking about like setting up a land development company, whatever. You need to have a board of people, your counsel that you go to for advice, and you should have that personally, to help you make the big decisions. If you've got a big decision, like, kind of sense check it with someone else who's maybe a bit more experienced than you and further down the line, and that way you know you're going on the right path.
Or do what I do. We spoke about your podcast as well. So my dad, when we were growing up, we always made major decisions based on the flip of a coin. Or that. But I know you're shaking your head and you're laughing, but when we made a decision on the flip of a coin, right, say I said, kids, I get to go out with my pals or something when I was little, right? But if
like
it was
selling your house,
if it was like selling my house, stay here or going to move, and heads was to move and tails was to stay here.
Right.
If it landed on tails, I'd be like, oh, well, actually, I wanted to move. And because you've done that flip of a coin, then you understand what you actually want.
Right, it brought out the answer. Gotcha, okay. You can actually hear your instinct talking, or you can feel it, I suppose. When that coin lands, you've got, right. That's interesting. Right, that's good. Now I'm relieved, because to be honest, on behalf of PMW, I was very worried. We were about to tell the listeners, do all of your due diligence on the flip of a coin. That could have been disastrous. Disastrous. Right, fantastic. You know something? I've still got the both of you did it. I've still got your call to arms reverberating in my head there. With the broadcast you did to the females, it was fantastic. Fantastic. Great inspiration, great encouragement. And you've made that very silly offer that you would meet up for coffee. Oh my goodness.
Lisa made that offer.
Yes, Lisa made that offer. So all these ladies are going to flood your inbox. let's chat over tea and scones. Brilliant stuff. Listen, I'm going to be respectful for your time. Really appreciate you coming on. I think our deep and meaningful chats could have went off in so many tangents there. It was quite scary. But let's wrap up with keeping in mind the podcast. So who's going to take the rein here? Tell them names, tell them website addresses, tell them how to get a hold of the podcast. Go.
Yeah, so it's the Life Balance Podcast. Go to www.lifebalance.com and lifebalancepodcast.com. Can we do that again?
And go.
But you do. So.
Oh, these girls have fun with their business like that. This is the way to do it.
Yeah, if you go to lifebalancepodcast.com, you'll get links to podcasts on iTunes. As Lisa said, for those who don't have an Apple product, the Lipson website, and also the YouTube links on there too.
Fantastic. Great stuff. Well, girls, thank you very much indeed. It's been brilliant chatting to you. Wish you all the success for the shows that are in the pipeline, air quotes. And hopefully we'll have you on soon. We can look back further on some of the archives and start to do things that, pick out your top 3 favourite shows and what was the one that was the most challenging or surprising, that kind of stuff. Would you be up for doing that in the future?
Absolutely, definitely.
Great stuff. Well, for today, from This Week in Property, Carol, Lisa, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Richard.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Hi folks, it's Richard here again. I really hope that you enjoyed today's show. Now listen, I've got 2 links to help support you on your property journey, and I want you to write these down when it's safe to do so. You might be driving in your car just now listening to the podcast, and that's fine, but please make sure that you get back to this and write down these links. Okay, are you ready? Got your pen in hand? So the first one, thisweekinproperty.com. Now that's the website for this podcast. On there, make sure you subscribe to the podcast so that you don't miss out. What you can also do on there is catch up on tons and tons of past episodes. There are hours and hours of property related content and some amazing guests with some fantastic insights to help you on your property journey. So that is thisweekinproperty.com. Okay, next link, propertyprotege.com. Now, let me spell that one out for you. PROPERTY PROTEGE. That's propertyprotege.com. Now, what's it all about? Well, the Property Protege Intensive is designed to give you the lift that you need into the world of property. And if you've already started, if you've already got some experience, then this can help you accelerate your progress even further. The experiences that people have had at Protege and the success that they've achieved afterwards has been life-changing for many people. So go there right now if you're serious about property and if you want to build a highly successful property business. That's propertyprotege.com. So there you go. That's 2 links to some fantastic resources that are going to help you. And listen, talking about help, can you help me to help other people? You see, the more that we can share this podcast, then more people can learn from the fantastic guests that I've been so lucky to talk to. How can you help? Well, it's very simple and very quick. Just a short review on iTunes is going to help make that happen. If you go to thisweekinproperty.com/iTunes, that will guide you to the very place that you will be able to help other people. So thank you. Thanks for doing that, and thanks for listening into the show. And I look forward to bringing another great guest to you in the next show.